Hello students, I'm Himani Sharma, your educator. I warmly welcome you all on the YouTube channel where we are going to discuss in this particular video about the syllabus for UGC NET Paper 2 English Literature, right? So you guys would have, come across the examination that is known as UGC NET. Let's just quickly look at it, like what is it? What is it about and what is it for basically? So UGC NET is an examination which is held every year twice, that is in every, in every December and June, right? In every June and in every December, this examination is held. And this is basically to see your eligibility for the post of an assistant professor or for the post of, if you want to get enrolled in PhD basically, correct? So you need to first of all qualify for this particular examination if you want to apply for the job of an assistant professor or if you want to do PhD, correct? Now, the exam pattern of the same is set by NTA, which is the conducting or the governing body of this particular examination. NTA stands for National Testing Agency. The examination now is divided in two parts, right? This is the pattern that I'm trying to give you an idea of here. Paper 1 and Paper 2. Where paper 1 is a general paper for all, the syllabus is same for each and every person who is appearing from the list of subjects which is provided by the UGC NET website. Whereas paper 2 is the subject specific area which you are supposed to be giving the exam of. So how to maintain the eligibility? What is the eligibility of paper 2? For paper 2, for sitting for the NET examination, you need to at least acquire 55% of marks in your masters for the general category and 50 for other categories such as SC, ST, OBC, PWD and transgender. The duration for this particular exam, paper 1 and paper 2 together is 3 hours, single window duration, correct? Now I told you June and December organized every year to see that how are you eligible to be an assistant professor or if you want to get enrolled in PhD, so on and so forth. Now told you it's divided into two parts. Now what are the marks here? The marks are for paper 1, there are 100 marks, right? Because there are 50 questions, and in paper 2, 100 questions are there which equates to 200 marks. So the entire paper is of 300 marks, right? 300 marks where one question is for 2 marks and there is no negative marking in this particular paper. Now let's just see what is the syllabus for English here. If it is visible to you all, I would just increase the size of this image a little bit here. So the paper here is divided in 10 units. The syllabus for UGC NET English Literature is divided in 10 units, out of which around 5-6 we are going to cover in this particular video. In the second part, I'll be covering the syllabus for the same in the, of the rest of the parts which will be left. So the syllabus randomly, they have just roughly divided it into 10 units with drama, poetry, fiction, short story, non-fictional prose, language, where they are talking about ELT, linguistics, English language teaching, कि English को कैसे पढ़ाया जाना चाहिए. English in India, that how English came in India, its history, evolution and futures. What is the scope? What was the history? How did it evolve in India? How did it come in India? Cultural studies, literary criticism, literary theory, research methods and materials in English, for which almost the same material from paper 1 could be used, but in the sense of using it for the research purpose of English literature. Now let's just quickly see, first of all, the different sets of units which I have tried to describe here. The list is not just this. The syllabus is very vast, but I'm just trying to give you a brief overview of the units here, like what is, something which is comprised under this particular unit called drama, so on and so forth. So, British drama, now British drama maybe we have multiple and ample parts starting from the old English to the postmodern and contemporary drama, where we are starting from the miracle plays, the mystery plays, etc. And we are gradually moving towards the new shift of drama, right? The comedy of manners, right? All these things are part of British drama. If we try to talk about American drama, the major figures are Edward Albee, Arthur Miller, Eugene O'Neill. And not just these figures, as I told you, the list is not just comprising of whatever is on the slide, but giving you a brief overview. Then post-colonial drama, where we have Derek Walcott, Vol Soyinka, who are the writers from the Caribbean, South African, post-colonial areas. Now, what are post-colonial areas? The areas which were somewhere or the other at times colonized by several colonies, specifically from the British part. Correct? European drama, where we go back again to the emergence of drama when drama was performed for Dionysius, who was the god of wine. तो उनके लिए जब ड्रामास परफॉर्म किए जाते थे, who were the Greek dramatists at that point of time? We have the example of Sophocles, Euripides, right? And in the modern time, if we move forward in the European drama only, we have Anton Chekhov, Cherry Orchard, right? Beckett, Samuel Beckett, Waiting for Godot, if you would have heard of that. Then we have Indian drama, out of which you can never ever miss any paper where you will not see a question from here. Specifically, Indian में drama पे they focus majorly. And who are the major dramatists here? We have Girish Karnad, Hayavadana, right? The Vijay Tendulkar, Gurcharan Das, जिनकी लारेंस साहिब को सुल्तान पद्मश्री award also, it was awarded. The first Sultan Padmashri award, which is awarded for the playwrights with the best plays, right? Rohinton Mistry, Cyrus Mistry, Mahesh Dattani, etc. Where Dattani's final solutions, if you would have done that in your masters, you would be knowing कि उसमें final solution में theme of communalism, Hindus versus the Muslims, etc. कितनी prominent themes को they have tried to describe them. Moving forward, we have the unit of poetry. Again, a rough, distinction here that I'm trying to make here. From the British, the father of sonnets, Shakespeare, Milton, who has written Paradise Lost on the Fall of Man, talking about how the entire universe was developed. How because Adam ate, Eve, ate the fruit, the forbidden fruit of knowledge, and that's why they had to suffer and come in this entire world. Philip Sidney, Arcadia, right? Fairy Queen, etc. Spenser ki Fairy Queen, etc. All these things are the example of the British poetry. The list is not just this. I'll keep on putting an emphasis on that. Then Indian mein, we have Tagore, Sarojini Naidu, Palanquin Bearers. Lightly, oh lightly, we bear her along, which is a very famous line from the Palanquin Bearers. We have Nirala, Mahadevi Verma. We also have Michael Madhusudan Dutt. Multiple poets, even from the 20th century, there are many poets from which the questions are asked. Arun Kolatkar, jinki jejuri mein se questions पूछे जाते हैं. Then in the European, we have Dante Alighieri, Goethe. Alighieri is from the Italian part. Goethe is from the German part, right? So they wrote poetries as well. So related to that, American, Walt Whitman, who is the father of American poetry, if we try to talk about it in the sense of being a democratic republic, right? How Walter Whitman, he tried using certain kind of imagery of brotherhood, etc., the rural scenery, etc., in his works to depict, like you would have heard of the famous collection named Leaves of Grass. Oh, Captain, my Captain. Then we have Robert Frost, Mending Wall. All these things, stopping by the woods on a snowy evening, जिसकी बहुत सारी famous lines है, जिसमें से है miles to go before I sleep, right? Post-colonial or post-modern में, we have Chinua Achebe, Derek Walcott again, W.B. Yeats, who is associated with the foundation of the Irish Literary Theatre in the year 1899. And how not just him, there were other figures like Edward Martin, etc., Lady Gregory, who were responsible to revive the Irish culture back again on the British lands, correct? Then we have fiction. Now, fiction mein, it is an amalgamation of novels, etc., somewhere where the fictional characters are created with whom you fall in love. Here as well, we have some British fictional writers such as Jane Austen, Charles Dickens, Hard Times, George Eliot, जिनका Middlemarch is really famous, and उनका बार-बार PYQ आता है that what was the original and real name of George Eliot. Then we have Hardy, Tess, right? Mayor of Casterbridge, Virginia Woolf to the Lighthouse, all these things, Mrs. Dalloway, ये सारे जो है British में majorly these writers are there, but we have age-wise distinction of writers, so to say. European fictional writers में majorly we have Leo Tolstoy, Anna Karenina, Fyodor Dostoevsky, Kafka, who has given us, who has given and tried to manipulate and use the Ovid's Metamorphosis here as well, where he talks about the transformation, correct? Albert Camus, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, 100 Years of Solitude. An enormous wings wala jo man, a very old man with enormous wings. That's a short story collection as well, correct? American fictional writers, Mark Twain, Huckleberry Finn, Ernest Hemingway, Fitzgerald, Toni Morrison. If you would have heard of Toni Morrison's name, you would have known that she has written a very beautiful works are there, out of which my favorite is The Bluest Eye, right? Where the father rapes his own daughter. J.D. Salinger. Indian fictional writers में बहुत सारे writers we have, out of which the major ones I have provided a list of here. R.K. Narayan, Malgudi Days, है ना? Arundhati Roy, God of Small Things, The Ministry of Utmost Happiness. Salman Rushdie, Shame. He has written Midnight's Children. He's also penned many other important works such as Satanic Verses, for which उनके ऊपर जो था फतवा जारी हो गया था, correct? Vikram Seth, Suitable Boy, Kiran Desai. All these are the important fictional writers. Anita Desai, Kiran Desai, Mulk Rajanand. You know, the list keeps on going on. Raja Rao for that matter. Then we have the short story writers. Edgar Allan Poe for the Gothic tales which are supposedly there in the, American parts as well. So, The Telltale Heart, The Fall of the House of Usher. If you would have even watched a movie or a short story clip on YouTube, you would have come across this very particular story. His stories have some kind of grotesque and macabre element associated with that. So you will see यहाँ पे doppelganger. What is a doppelganger? Somebody who looks just exactly like you. Correct? उसका concept. Hawthorne's Rappaccini's daughter, young Goodman Brown. These are very, because he was a Puritan himself, he tried to talk about those particular things in his works. Mark Twain, Huckleberry Finn, Jumping Frog, etc. Hemingway, Snows of Kilimanjaro. Very important short story. And the list is not just limited here. Fitzgerald, Tender is the Night, Great Gatsby, Mansfield. These are the fictional works that I've also tried to incorporate with the writers here under the short stories, because these works are important as well, right? Flannery O'Connor, Good Man, and Everything Rises. These are some important short stories. Now comes the part non-fictional, जिसमें आपकी autobiographies आ जाती हैं, any essays that you write, any discourse that you pen and all, any work of critical thinking and all, that comes under the travelogue, etc. That comes under the genre of non-fictional writing. Correct? So non-fiction में we have Emerson. We have Thoreau, Walden Civil Disobedience, from which Mahatma Gandhi was really inspired. Correct? Virginia Woolf, A Room of One's Own, a very prominent text if we try to talk about the feminist literature. The rise of feminism, that how she asked for the financial independence of women. Correct? The common reader as well. Orwell has also written a novel, 1984, Animal Farm, and he's also penned down the fictional, writing known as Politics of the English Language, where he has tried to talk about the styles, etc. He's tried to talk about how English has deteriorated with time. Correct? Baldwin, Fire Next Time, Native Son. Edward Said ka Orientalism, where he tries to talk about how the East and West are being drawn, a parallel has been drawn there, and we as the Eastern people are the Orients and the West people are the Occidents who are viewing us. Correct? Culture and imperialism, etc. Then we have English in India unit, where I told you we talk about the history, how English came in India. What is the present? What is the future? How the evolution was it? So basically here we are going to discuss much and more here. The syllabus basically is where you are going to see the British coming. So यहाँ पे pre and post independence के हिसाब से we have divided the unit. Here you will have to discuss, try to talk about the pre-independence commissions and how when the British came in India, they were with that sole motive that we want the Indians in blood and color, but British in taste. This was a very famous line quoted by Macaulay when he said that he wants the Indians to be there in his, army, in his police officers wali jobs ke liye. Lekin of course, he tries to talk about one thing more here, that we do not want them to be the ones jo humko, later on they are going to be ditching us, etc. Correct? Raja Ram Mohan Roy's letter, right? Lord Benting's approval of Macaulay's minute, Trevelyan's on education in India, 1838. All these are accounts of how English education was taking some point of charge in the Indian sphere as well. How the Babus were influencing the Indian people, how they were trying to like much and more of it, that English speaking people, hum log ko ek class ko hi educate karna hai, right? The downward filtration theory that Macaulay gave, that we just want to educate one group of elite people and they would be the ones who later on the other groups ko they will be influencing. And when the other people will be influenced from the same, they will come back to learn English as well, right? Hunter Commission, Woods Dispatch, Indian University Commission, ये तो pre हो गए. Then after independence as well, when the British left India, there was some sort, English was also left there as well, right? People were now knowing this particular language. Now, what were the changes where mother tongue was also going to take some charge, as well as how to take care, how did they take care of English, which was brought up in India by the British people, correct? So, यहाँ पे Kothari Commission, Rita Kothari, these are the evolution, after evolution, the futures. We see the chutneyfication of English. We see that how two words are mixed, right? So all these things, like these are very, very important. Rita Kothari's work translating India, Prabal Das Gupta's The Otherness of English, Braj B. Kachru's The Indianization of English, where he has tried to define the English in three concentric circles based on how much English is spoken in a particular area. एक area जहाँ पे native language है, then कहाँ पे आई, etc. So he tries to talk about three concentric circles in his work, The Indianization of English. Then we have Baljinder K. Mahar, The Queen's English as well. Correct? So this was part 1 of English literature UGC NET video. I hope that things are clear to you all. I wish to see you again. If you have any doubts, you can drop down them in the comment section below. I will try to reply for sure. Thank you so much for staying with me. Have a good day. Bye-bye.